Nick Ball versus Isaac Dogboe, 12 rounds in the featherweight division. Let's get into it. Let's start with Nick Ball. 18 wins, no losses, 11 wins by way of knockout. This is going to be Nick Ball's toughest test yet. It is going to be his hardest fight yet. And if he wants to continue this upward trajectory and take the next step and possibly get a title shot down the road, this is going to be the fight to see if he is ready for it and can be competitive and beat those bigger guys and champions in the division. I did not know too much about Nick Ball until recently, probably in the recent 2 years. Right? The first time I saw him fight was when he fought Isaac Dogboe, and that was a fight that made me say, man, this guy has a lot of potential here. Got to watch him a little bit more. His fight against Isaac Dogboe, I mean, he stopped Isaac Dogboe in a disrespectful manner. You remember that, right? Like he had him on the ropes and his Dogboe's body was turned a little bit. And Ball was just standing there. He was loading up on that left hand and just waited till he turned around, and then boom, and then boom, and then boom. And it was over with. That was disrespectful because you paused and you were patient and you hit me. Disrespectful, but a great stoppage win. But there's a lot to like about Nick Ball. He's explosive. He packs a punch. I wouldn't say he's got that one-shot knockout type of power because he really has to sit down on his punches in order to make it efficient. But when he does, man, he can do damage. He's got good footwork. He's got that calculated aggressiveness, and he knows how to close out the show when his opponent is hurt. He's generally going to be the smaller guy in his fights. He's 5'2". You cannot let that fool you, right? He likes to be the aggressor, and he's going to try to make you pay. He has to close the gap in order to do damage. And when you have physical disadvantages, you have to find other ways how to close those gaps and how to find a way in. And one of the ways he does is those looping shots and looping lunges that he manipulates and forms in ways that'll work for him. He might lunge forward and loop a shot with the left hand or the right hand. He might come through, lunge forward with a shot with an uppercut to just try and give you different angles and different things to watch out for throughout the fight. He is explosive, and his placement in his punches is very nice as well. He knows how to hit you with precision and accuracy. He's got good footwork. When he fought Nathaniel K, I can't remember his last name. We're gonna call him Nathaniel K. Man, he looked great. He hit Nathaniel K with some shots that I'm not sure how he was able to stand on his feet. He has a great chin because he took a lot of punches in that fight. Eventually, he would go on to get the stoppage win, Nick Ball, in the 12th round. Nathaniel K was having success when he was boxing using his length and his size. It's when you get sucked into fighting Nick Ball's fight do you find yourself in trouble. If you can pop that jab out and just keep that separation, it's going to be hard for him to find his way. Whenever Nathaniel K was using the jab and following it through with the right hand, right? He was able to have success. He was able to really make Nick Ball pay. But it wasn't enough, man. Nick Ball's styles and aggression and the pressure that he brings, he's always in your face, man. And you have to punch down a lot of the times in order to hit him. And it's a lot harder to punch down than it is to punch up. So you have to be cautious of how you're throwing your punches against a shorter fighter. After he got the win against Nathaniel K, he fought Eduardo Ramirez Rubio, and he made easy work of him, dropped him twice in the first round, and it was over with after that. In his most recent fight, he fought Ludumo Lamati, who was undefeated coming in, and was one of those fights where it was going to be who is going to want it more, right? Who's going to break first? Because the Ball offensively was doing great, but defensively, man, that was a fight where he left himself open a lot. Lamati made him pay for it. Ball was standing there trading shots, right? And he wasn't always moving his head off the line. I don't know if he came into that fight not respecting Lamati's power. I don't know what it was, but he looked like he could have made better defensive choices, but he just chose not to, right? And every time that he was letting off a shot, standing right there and trading, Lamati was making sure that he had a return fire for him as well. When Lamati was using his jab, man, following through with the straight hand, again, he was having success. When his opponents are able to keep separation, that's when they have success, but they aren't always able to do it, man. They aren't always able to get away from Nick Ball because, again, he's going to lunge at you. He's going to cut off the ring and lunge at you. He's going to find ways how to close the gap. He's very creative and crafty inside of the ring, and that's part of the reason that makes him so successful. And he is consistent with the volume, consistent with his punches. But again, he did get the win in that fight, stoppage win towards the end, but he did have some lapses in his defense in that fight, and he needs to put forth a better defensive fight if he is going to want to beat Isaac Dogboe. Let's talk about his opponent, the former champion Isaac Dogboe. 24 wins, 3 losses, 16 wins by way of knockout. I have the utmost respect for Isaac Dogboe. He gave Emmanuel Neverati a heck of a fight both times. Even in defeat, you can't deny the effort and the heart and the will of Isaac Dogboe. He gave it everything he had, and he got beat twice by the better man. No harm, no foul in that. And the thing with fights like that, man, is it always takes a little bit out of you, a little bit of confidence, little bit of spirit. It always takes a little bit out of you when you are giving everything that you have and you come up short. Takes a little bit out of you up here. But in life and in boxing, it's not about the fall. It's about how you rise back up on your feet and find the strength and the courage to keep moving forward. He rebounded and fought Chris Alvarez after, I think, like a 1.5 year layoff, and stopped him and got back to his winning ways. Always feel good to get back in the win column, especially when you do it by way of stoppage, right? Just always feels good. After that, he fights Adam Lopez. Adam Lopez is always going to give you a tough fight. And that was a great back and forth fight, man. Action-packed fight from the beginning. It seemed like the old confident Isaac Dogboe was back, man. Both men were getting copped with shots, right? That was probably one of the best fights that I've seen of Adam Lopez. He landed really good uppercuts from in close consistently throughout that fight too. Both men were standing and trading shots, shot for shot. Dogboe was hitting the body, trying to slow Lopez down and back him up. Dogboe was doubling up sometimes on the jab, tripling sometimes, and following with other different variety of shots. Some rounds are very close. Mixed decision for Isaac Dogboe, but could have went either way. But I thought it was a very good, clean fight, and a fight that he needed, right? You need those tough fights from time to time, and coming off some other tough ones. If I'm in a position where it's going to be a dog fight again, how am I going to respond? How am I going to handle it? And he handled it as well as we know that he can be, and he was able to get the win. Joet Gonzalez was another similar close fight to when he fought Adam Lopez, in a fight where I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch of that fight, man. I thought it could have went either way depending on what you were looking for, depending on what you liked. But it could have been a draw as well too, in my opinion, right? What did you think? What did you think? Did you have it as a draw? Did you score it as a draw? Do you agree with the win? Let me know in the comment section below. In his most recent fight, he fought Robeisy Ramirez in a fight where, if you were an Isaac Dogboe fan, it was a little frustrating to watch, right? Because he got outboxed, outclassed, and kind of broke down Dogboe from a mental standpoint, man. Dogboe looked physically discouraged. In the early round, he was doing very well, man. Robeisy was coming forward, kind of overconfident, but he was catching Robeisy with different shots, head shots, body shots. But then there was a point where everything just switched, and Robeisy started to really dial in defensively, and the skill set just started to really kick in. The IQ just started to kick in. And it kind of just became Robeisy Ramirez really controlling and seizing this fight. And he had his hand in it, and he never let it go. He just squeezed the confidence out of Isaac Dogboe, man. But, you know, Isaac Dogboe is always going to give his best, always going to do whatever he has to do to win this fight. As long as he has breath in his body, as long as his legs are good, he is going to find a way how to try to win the fight. And you always have to respect that about him. And again, I mean, he lost to Manny Leverate twice, and he lost to Robeisy Ramirez. Those guys are champions for a reason, some of the best in boxing for a reason. No harm or foul done. Your stock doesn't fall because you lost to those guys, right? So this is going to be interesting, and he's going to be looking to get another title shot or at least climb the ranks to do it. And you have a young, hungry Nick Ball who is going to make you work. Going to be a very good fight, man. So who wins? I still think Dogboe is one of the top guys, but my question is, how much more does he have left, man? Sometimes it looks like he has lapses in the fight, like mentally, right, during the fight, and his team has to gather themselves and give him words of encouragement to try to get it back on track. Ball is the younger guy. He's hungry for this moment, and stylistically is a nice matchup for both men because they are both going to be right there to get hit, and they both kind of need to do the same similar thing, right? Dogboe is coming off a loss. Ball hasn't lost a fight yet to this point. He's also have a five fight knockout streak. Confidence is there. You know, he's feeling good. I think this is a 50-50 fight, and a fight where you could see it go either way. I think this is one of those fights where the championship rounds are going to tell us a whole lot, because I think Isaac Dogboe is going to win the early rounds. He's fought the better competition. He's fought at that world championship level. I mean, he is a champion, and he's fought guys tougher than Nick Ball. But at the same time, every loss takes a little bit out of you, man. And he's been in some wars that takes a little bit out of him. And if he gets frustrated, man, he might take himself out mentally a little bit. And I think this is one of those fights where if Nick Ball is who he believes he is, and who many believe that he is, he's going to find a way. He's going to need to find a way to rise to the occasion. And I think that he will. And I think it's going to be a split decision or a mixed decision outcome, man. I think Nick Ball is going to get it done. I think Dogboe gets a little bit tired as the fight goes on, and I think Nick Ball comes on stronger. In the recent fights that we've seen, he comes on stronger towards the latter half of the fight, and I think it's going to be similar to this fight. 50-50 fight. I think Dogboe wins the early rounds, and I think Nick Ball comes on strong and wins a split or a mixed decision victory. What are your thoughts on this fight? Who do you have winning this one? Let me know in the comment section below. If you'd like to support the channel, there's a couple ways you can do so. You can like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you like support by way of donation, you can find options in the description below. Also, my Cash App handle will be on screen as well. Any amount goes towards the growth of this channel and will be greatly, greatly appreciated. With all that being said, if you've been watching the video this long, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, and we'll definitely see you next time.